What's up, folks? Homebrew Wednesday, and it's been a while since I think I've put up some videos maybe on Wednesday or around Wednesday, but it's not that I don't think, well, I kind of don't think about it, or as I'm doing it, that it actually being a Homebrew Wednesday video. So I thought about today I actually could make a video on Wednesday and title it Homebrew Wednesday. So I've been trying to keep up with everybody's videos. Sometimes I'll watch half of one and try to come back and watch the other half, and I just don't get to, or watch one and mean to comment and don't get to, and don't get to go back and comment. But still trying to watch everybody's videos as I can with all that's going on. But I just thought I would throw something up and tell you what's going on here at the house and at the brewery. I'll mention that as well. I went from really not having much beer and kind of getting scared and not having an IPA on tap to now I've got quite a bit of a beer going on. Earlier this month and last month I had, well, this beer was brewed last month, July. Had a couple of weekends off, so I was able to brew some and here at the house. And I was just looking at this one. July 21st is when this one was brewed. Right now on tap I've got the a black IPA. I actually brewed it at the brewery up at Skull Camp. It went over really well. It's kind of a 21st Amendment clone. I really love that beer, and I've not really done a side-by-side yet, but it got going really quick up there, so I had a weekend off and thought I would brew it here one weekend, and did, and was smart enough to brew 10 gallons. So, and then not long after that I brewed this beer that I'll talk about here, but the black IPA, I like it really well. I think the next time I may bump up the dark malts is just Carafa 2. I don't have my brew sheet down here, but I think the next time I'll either bump up the Carafa 2 or maybe use Carafa 3 just for the why not. But yeah, that's here on this tap, the Dusk Till Dawn Black IPA with the cool looking Heavy Seas Pale Ale tap. And you can see the name of these two taps, FusterCluck English and FusterCluck American. And it's kind of crazy how that came about. The weekend I was going to brew that, I came down here to brew that Sunday morning, and I had my recipe built, and I don't know what happened or where I went wrong or what I was thinking, but I come down here and I didn't have nothing that was in my recipe, hardly. Well, I did have some of it, but I came down here that morning, I was like my original recipe was 10 pounds of Maris cider, and this is just something I threw together. I had used the Falconer's Flight hops, like an all Falconer's Flight, and I also had bought some of the 7 Seas hops, the Falconer's Flight 7 Seas, which is kind of like the Falconer's Flight with just a little bit of spicy notes according to the descriptors. But so I had built a recipe for the 7 Seas, just something, it was going to be mostly Maris cider, like 10 pounds of Maris cider, 5 pounds of Munich Carapils, and a little bit of 2 rows, just some stuff I had on hand. And I had bought some Merker hops from Farmhouse Brewing Supply, because they would, I talked about them and just kept kind of piqued my interest, and I never had used them, so I was using those as my bittern hops, and all the rest 7 Seas, because I remember doing the Falconer's Flight IPA, and I kind of thought that it needed something up front, like at the 60-minute edition, other than the Falconer's Flight for my taste. So that's why I was going to go with the Merker, which is like a 16.2 alpha acid hop. So I come down here to brew that morning. I didn't have any Maris cider at all. I didn't have enough 7 Seas to do the end of the boil and the middle of the boil and all that, so I just kind of said to heck with it and threw something together with what I had. I ended up with 12 pounds of Munich, so it's basically an all Munich IPA. 5 pounds of Vienna, 3 pounds of 2-row, which is like cleaned me out for the 2-row I hadn't bought 2-row in forever. 2 pounds of Carapils, and pound of Crystal 60 and ½ ounce of Crystal 120. And for the hops, since I didn't have enough 7Cs, I had also bought some Zythos hops a bit back, and one of my brewing buddy Danny, he had used Zythos in an IPA and really liked it. So I went with Zythos for the bittering hops. Actually, that's wrong. I went with Merker, like I originally had planned to, for the bittering hops at 60. Zythos at 20, and the 7Cs, all 2 ounces. I didn't even tell you how many ounces. 1 ounce of Merker at 60, 1 ounce of Zythos at 20, and 2 ounces of 7Cs at 10, and 2 ounces of 7Cs at Flame Out. And I think, I don't have it in my notes here, and again, y'all know me, I don't prepare for my videos too much. I was thinking I dry hopped it with, I've probably got it written down somewhere. I was thinking I dry hopped it with the rest of the Zythos I had. I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure. It's terrible at it. Yeah, I think that's what happened. But anyway, 10-gallon batch. I split it into 2 5-gallon buckets, and I had some dry yeast laying around that I hadn't used, so I done 5 gallons of it with USO5 and 5 gallons of it with SO4, just to see what it would do. And interestingly enough, the SO4 took off like crazy, and it was just like bubbling like nuts. And the SO4 lagged a little bit behind and didn't seem as aggressive as far as bubbling is concerned. You can't always go by that, but that's what I saw anyway. As far as the blow off, I always use a blow off tube. I never use an airlock until I cold crash. But yeah, I hit my numbers real well. It turned out to be like a 1060 beer. Finished out the same for both yeast, oddly enough. I didn't think it would. I don't know why I didn't think it would. So it was like a 6% beer, and here in a minute I'm going to pour a couple of half glasses just to let you see the difference. I did cold crash it for like 24 hours. I usually cold crash for at least a day. Sometimes I think it might have been 2 days. I did cold crash for 2 days on this 48 hours. And I'm surprised at the clarity, because when I was kegging it, it looked a whole lot more clear than it is. I'm going to go pour a couple of half pints, and I'm trying to keep the noise down in there because the little, by the way, my son is 3 months old today. Little Cameron is 3 months old today, and he's doing great. Here's a picture of him. One of my, this is actually his 2-month picture, and it's one of my favorites, so here that is. Yeah, he's a little doll baby. Love that kid. He's definitely got a hold of my heart. So anyway, I'm gonna go pour a couple of beers and just show you the difference, and be back in just a minute. Here's the 2 beers, and sitting on my messy workbench. But the one on the left is the American yeast, the USO5, and the other is the one on the right, the SO4. And I've already poured a beer off of that one before I started this video, so that's probably why there's a little more carbonation in that one. And the carbonation is just now really getting to where it needs to be anyway for both of them. But I think the colors are pretty much spot on as far as being the same. I say spot on, but it's not like I was shooting for something, but I think they're pretty much the same. I had originally thought that maybe the USO5 was a little lighter, but sitting here, this is the first time I really put a light behind them, and I don't really see a lot of difference. You can see the bubbles rising, or maybe you can. Not so much in this one, but the English yeast, the SO4 just doesn't have that, which it shouldn't. It doesn't have the bite that I'm looking for in an IPA. It's a good taste. I think I like the combo with the hops. Got lucky. The Merker, the Zythos, and the 7Cs. Somebody could, I'm hopefully when these get good and conditioned and cleared up, I'll send them maybe a couple of to some people that can better critique these beers and maybe do a better job than I do. I think I'm getting more hop aroma from the USO5 and more malt from the SO4. But the USO5 is definitely my favorite of the two. Definitely more bitterness. That's the biggest thing, and being an IPA guy, that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm pleased with it. I just wish this one was a little I guess you're getting a lot of that Munich. You're able to get more of the Munich from the beer that was fermented with the SO4 than you are with the USO5. So, and of course, what I like to do a lot of times is just mix them up and drink them. I've done that with my black IPA with something, I can't remember what it was, and it was really good. But anyway, that's what I got on tap. I actually, in the kegerator, I still have some, the amber's gone. BH Brewing, you got one of the last 2 or 3 bottles, you'll see that when you get it. And my note, I still have some of the Edwards apple vine that I've not touched, just kind of letting it sit in the kegerator. It's supposed to get better with age anyway, so it's sitting in air conditioning, and I hope the light's not killing my video. What else is in there? There's something, oh, a little bit of the Pilsner left that I had made way back. There's not much of it left, but I just kind of took all that, the Pilsner. I had the Pilsner, the amber, and the cider, all 3 on tap, and I took all those off, or this amber ran out, and put the 2, the English FusterCluck, and I about said something else, and the American FusterCluck, and the black. And there's 10 gallons of black too, so I've got another 5 gallons of that in there that I need to go ahead and carbonate and have it ready for when the other one runs out. But yeah, I'm doing good for right now. Maybe I was watching a hockey player's video today, and I really want to make a good stout. I love oh my god, my mind, y'all, is terrible. Yeti, it's Yeti, but I was trying to think who makes it. By the time I get in here and look at the bottle, I'll remember it. But if any of you are familiar with Yeti, from Colorado, what is it? Great Divide, the Imperial Stout. Get that away from the light. One of my favorite stouts ever, probably my favorite stout. I would love to clone that beer. And I think I commented on your video, Hockey Player, if you watch this. I don't think my system, I think that's like, I can't remember what the original gravity on that is, because I'd like to brew it at the brewery too. The recipe I found online for that. But I think I would have to do a 5-gallon batch here, because I don't think I have the capacity to do the water to grain ratio that I like to do here. So yeah, I'd like to do that, and the Gruit that BH Brewing and Amyladius did sounds really interesting, and I don't quite know what to do next. Maybe that, if I can even source the herbs and spices and stuff that's in that drink. I don't guess I should call it a beer. I almost call it a beer, but it looks very interesting, and I would like to try that and have that recipe nailed down for maybe next spring, summer, because that looks like a really nice warm day, hot day drinking beer. So, or Gruit. So yeah, that's a couple of things on my list to do here. And what's going on at Skull Camp at the brewery? We got wiped out a couple of weekends there, and we just brewing as often as we can with what equipment we have. We've got like a stout on tap now that one of the other brewers did. We got a pale ale coming up, 20 gallons of that. We did a double brew day. Another one of the brewer's recipe, I brewed half of it and he brewed the other half. I did a rye IPA not too long ago. It should be coming up. I've done the black again, there's 20 gallons of it coming up. Wheat, I can't even remember. We got several things conditioning up there, and Sunday I'm brewing a all Citra IPA. Actually, it's not all Citra because we can't get Citra. We have some, and you know how it is this time of year before the new crop comes out. It's hard to get anything. So actually, I think I'm going to do Citra and Falconer's Flight, since Falconer's Flight is a combination of Citra and some other hop. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be an Imperial IPA. So yeah, everything's going great. Just crazy busy like always. I don't think I've mentioned, I know I haven't, but I was able to get together with main brew guy Gary and Puka NC Brad. Gary was coming through the area, not really close to my area, but he was in the state, pretty good ways down the road, and for some school business, and he was able to make it up toward Brad's area, and Brad's not too far from me, so I was able to cut loose and make it down to their to where they were meeting, and we met at Foothills Brewery and just had a nice little gathering and meeting. Got to meet Brad's wife and Gary's wife, so that was really nice. Hey darling, and or hey honey, and yeah, we just got to hang out at the brewery for a little bit. It was really nice. It was cool to meet Gary. I'd already met Brad. Brad had been up here before, and it was nice to meet Brad's wife as well. But yeah, it was just nice to hang out and meet with some fellow YouTubers and have a beer. And here's a picture of that we took. So yeah, it was nice, and I wish more of us could do that. There's so many of us scattered out throughout the United States and other countries, but it's really cool when you can meet with folks that you only talk with, you know, through messages on YouTube and comments on YouTube and Facebook and that sort of thing. But all right, this is probably getting long, so I'm gonna get out of here and go upstairs and check on the little man, and got some other things to get done. But happy Homebrew Wednesday, and appreciate you coming by the channel. As always, questions, comments, lay them on me later.